Shalom Israel. All praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh Ba'ashim Yahweh Shai. Yahweh is who the world ignorantly calls God. Yahweh Shai is his son, who the world ignorantly calls Jesus Christ, and is no God beside them. Double honors to the elder apostles and the elder bishops of Great Millstone, or GMS for short, for being faithful witnesses to the Holy Spirit, and salutations to the elect whom the Lord hath given ears to hear. This is the book of 2 Maccabees, chapter 15, and verse 8. Wherefore he exhorted his people not to fear the coming of the heathen against them, but to remember the help which in former times they had received from heaven, and now to expect victory and aid, to expect it, which should come unto them from the Almighty Yahweh, Ba'ashim Yahweh Shai. And so comforting them out of the law and the prophets, and withal putting them in mind of the battles they won afore, he made them more cheerful. And when he had stirred up their minds, he gave them their charge, showing them therewithal the falsehood of the heathen and the breach of oaths. Thus he armed every one of them, not so much with defensive shields and spears, as with comfortable and good words. And besides that, he told them a dream worthy to be believed, as if it had been so indeed, which did not a little rejoice them. And this was the vision. So, as we gear up for these times of Jacob's trouble, one thing to note by reading the 2 Maccabees, the 15th chapter, is what roused the people up so much. Was it by carnal means or by spiritual means? So it says that Onias, who had been high priest, a virtuous and a good man, reverent in conversation, gentle in condition, well spoken also, and exercised from a child in all points of virtue, holding up his hands, prayed for the whole body of the Jews. This done, in like manner, there appeared a man with gray hairs, and exceeding glorious, who was of a wonderful and excellent majesty. Then Onias answered, saying, This is a lover of the brethren, who prayeth much for the people and for the holy city, to wit, Jeremiah the prophets of God. Whereupon Jeremiah, holding forth his right hand, gave to Judas a sword of gold, and in giving it spake thus, Take this holy sword, a gift from God, with the which thou shalt wound the adversaries. Thus being well comforted by the words of Judas, which were very good, and able to stir them up to valor, and to encourage the hearts of the young men, they determined not to pitch camp, but courageously to set upon them, and manfully to try the matter by conflict, because the city and the sanctuary and the temple were in danger. For the care that they took for their wives and their children, their brethren and folks, was in least account with them, but the greatest and principal fear was for the holy temple. And again, another thing to note or to build upon is that what gives us the most valor is not our carnal lives, but upholding the ways of Yahweh Ba'ashim Yahweh Shai. Right? Remember, Yahweh Shai said in the Matthew 6th chapter to set our affection on things above, where neither moth nor rust doth corrupt. Reading on, also they that were in the city took not the least care, being troubled for the conflict abroad. And now, when as all looked what should be the trial, and the enemies were already come near, and the army was set in array, and the beast conveniently placed, and the horsemen set in wings. Right? So on the other side, the heathen, which at this point were the Greeks and those that, were joined unto them, they were well harnessed. They had it according to the flesh. This is Maccabeus seeing the coming of the multitude and diverse preparations of armor, and the fierceness of beasts, stretched out his hand toward heaven and called upon the Lord that worketh wonders. When we look at that word wonders, this is a feeling of surprise mingled with admiration, caused by something beautiful, unexpected, unfamiliar, or inexplicable. Case in point, the Lord has split a sea in half, whereas Israel went through on dry ground. That's a wonder. Knowing that victory cometh not by arms, but even as it seemeth good to him, he giveth to it such as are worthy. Therefore in his prayer he said after this manner, O Lord, thou didst send thy angel in the time of Ezekiel, king of Judea. Ezekias, king of Judea, and didst slay in the host of Sennacherib 185,000. Wherefore now also, O Lord of heaven, send a good angel before us, for a fear and dread unto them. And through the might of thine arm, let those be stricken with terror that come against the holy people to blaspheme. And he ended thus. Then Nicanor and they that were with him came forward with trumpets and songs. But Judas and his company encounters the enemies with invocation and prayer. So that fighting with their hands and praying unto God with their hearts, they slew no less than 35,000. For through the appearance of God they were greatly cheered. Right? And through the spirit, we're fighting with our hands, but meaning, we giving diligence in his work, fighting off these false doctrines, fighting against the demons that Israel, deals with, so on and so forth. So that's us fighting with our hands. Constantly being defenders for the truth. Right? And praying unto God with their hearts. All right, and again, the greatest or the gravest point of this chapter, 2 Maccabees 15, is actually the last chapter in the book of 2 Maccabees. But you can read it in previous accounts in this book that it was always through the prayer of the Lord, through prayers to the Lord. Psalms 27:3. Though an host should camp against me, my heart should not fear. Though war should rise against me, in this will I be confident. One thing have I desired of Yahweh, that will I seek after, that I may dwell in the house of Yahweh all the days of my life, to behold the beauty of Yahweh, and to inquire in his temple. For in the time of trouble he shall hide me in his pavilion. In the secret of his tabernacle shall he hide me. He shall set me upon a rock. Right? And that rock is Yahushua. Now, it is noted in the book of Proverbs 18:20 that the righteous run into the name of the Lord and are safe. Which the word safe in that chapter, book, chapter, verse, goes into Dashagab, which means inaccessibly high. Right? So as we go into these dark hours and we meditate upon Jacob's trouble and we deal with the various adversities that comes with it, even prior to, you know, a great prayer is to be put up. Great prayers for us and for the saints, the Akim Tazadakim and the Akwaf. It says to the chief musician, Psalms 20:1, a psalm of David, the Lord hear thee in the day of trouble. The name of the God of Jacob defend thee. You see? Send thee help from the sanctuary and strengthen thee out of Zion. Right? And various wonderful works, hell, the memory of previous wonderful works is going to get us through. So that was all, you know. Lord willing, you Akim edified. If be the spirit, you know, I'll get a part 2. But until next time, shalom to the elect.